This did nobody ask, did nobody check him for no steroid? I said, he had quick hands, he would hit. I said, why y'all ain't checking for steroid? He ain't checking steroid. And then,
you think he was on steroids?
Of course he was on steroids.
What we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids.
One way responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for clenbuterol.
Boxing legend Evander Holyfield has thrown down the gauntlet, hinting at possible steroid use by Canelo Alvarez. With tensions rising ahead of the Canelo versus Terence Crawford clash, Holyfield's bold comments have set off a storm of controversy and speculation throughout the boxing world.
This Mexican boxing fights of all time, in my opinion. Yeah. So I feel like I'm 100% confident in myself. If Canelo was 100% confident in himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me. Especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him, so he never got off
You think
steroids.
he's on steroids?
Of course.
Sure.
How does five?
You saw De La Hoya
How do five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids?
Right.
All those fucking dudes in that camp.
While Holyfield hasn't directly accused Canelo of steroid use, he has long called for harsher penalties for fighters who test positive for banned substances. Back in 2018, after Canelo's positive test for clenbuterol, Holyfield suggested offenders should face jail time, stating that such people should be in jail for 30 days.
Alvarez failed a drug test before his big Triple G fight in May, and he's blaming Mexican cows. All right, here's the deal. 2 months until the rematch with Gennady Golovkin on May 5th is going to be the big fight, and he's been taking drug tests leading up to the fight, standard operating procedure. This time he popped for a substance called clenbuterol, which is a banned substance. As a matter of fact, it helps you cut weight. A lot of people use it illegally to cut weight while maintaining muscle mass. He is saying he did not cheat. He's not a cheater. I did not intentionally take clenbuterol. Problem is, I've been training in Mexico and eating contaminated cow beef. That's what he's saying. There's a problem apparently in Mexico where some of the cattle are being injected with clenbuterol, which helps cows. It's illegal in the United States, but some places outside the United States, even some places in the United States, will use clenbuterol to grow bigger cows, to up the protein content in the meat. And he's saying that what he had was contaminated meat because his training center is in Mexico and there's a problem with Mexican meat down there. He even issued a statement saying, quote, "I'm an athlete who respects the sport and this surprises me and bothers me because it had never happened to me. I will submit to all the tests that require me to clarify this embarrassing situation, and I trust in the end the truth will prevail." So far, the fight with Gennady Golovkin is still on. He's still dead set on making that fight.
Floyd Mayweather has slammed what he sees as a double standard in boxing regarding steroid use, especially when it comes to Canelo Alvarez. Mayweather argues that while some fighters face extreme scrutiny, others, like Canelo, get leniency because of their status and marketability. He says this not only damages the sport's integrity but also lets certain fighters escape accountability. He stressed that PED use is not just cheating, it poses serious health risks and threatens boxing's credibility.
But what we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. Y'all don't talk about that. So we don't know. We really don't know all the fighters he beat. He could have been not clean in a lot of fights. Canelo, and the list goes on and on about athletes that's been cheating.
Been accused of cheating or been proven?
No, been proven too.
This been proven.
Yeah. Oh, with Canelo. Oh shit, I didn't know.
This been proven.
Lance Armstrong.
And then Canelo talking about it was the steak that it was the meat that he was eating. So okay, now you eating. I guess you're eating steroid cows. Man, these boys kill.
Recently, David Benavidez accused Canelo and his entire team of using steroids. He questioned why Canelo would avoid fighting him if he were truly confident, especially considering the number of positive steroid tests linked to Canelo's camp. Benavidez's comments have fueled their rivalry, as he suggests Canelo's team is
Greatest Canelo came out, the one that you guys seen that fought Triple G the first time. Bro, dude popped dirty for clenbuterol, bro. Why do you think the second fight didn't happen? So, for me, seeing that was the best Canelo I've ever seen. But that was Canelo off of steroids. Everybody else that he fought Amir Khan, he fought Daniel Jacobs, he fought, what the f is his name, Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant. These guys are all weak, bro. So for me, that's why I feel like I see Canelo Alvarez and I see like, he's not as good as everybody thinks. Because the best one that fought Golovkin that first time was off clenbuterol. That was the best Canelo I've ever seen, and that's why he looked so good, because he's off clenbuterol. So with the Canelo, he even got suspended for like 7 months.
So it's guaranteed
He's guaranteed he took it. He said that he ate meat that was tainted in Mexico.
Now, let me ask you that question.
I've talked to people. They said for him to test positive off a piece of meat, he would have had to eat.
Reynoso's gym has faced heavy scrutiny over multiple doping allegations involving fighters under his training. Most notably, Canelo Alvarez, who works with Reynoso, has been caught up in past steroid controversies. Critics point to several fighters from Reynoso's camp who tested positive for banned substances, sparking questions about the training environment and oversight. As Canelo gears up for his fight with Crawford, many are closely watching his
serious accusations about his gym. And the accusations are that people, or at least the implications are, that he is the one that is providing performance-enhancing drugs or is in some way responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for clenbuterol 2 times. For Fahim Satur, I'll say that he did it 2 times, even though I think it was for the same fight. But Canelo Alvarez popped dirty for clenbuterol 2 times. You have Luis Nery, who had tested positive, but I think Luis Nery tested positive before he was actually with Eddie Reynoso. Then you have Ryan Garcia, who popped dirty after he left Eddie Reynoso and went over to Derek James. And then you have Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez popped dirty while he was with Eddie Reynoso, but at the time he was still allowed to fight. You also clearly see that you have an issue with the fight that's coming up with Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, in that you have one guy that tested positive and you have another guy that looks like he's using in order to get up and continue to climb up weight classes. You know, at a certain point in time, and this is something that Rolly Romero has said, a certain point in time, your body just doesn't do that. At a certain point in time, your body just doesn't do it. I'm 6'2", 200, and should weigh about 210. Closer to 250, but I should weigh about 210. I'm not gonna get up. If I was 210 now at 50 years old.
Boxing analysts note that building large amounts of muscle naturally in your 30s is especially difficult. Yet, Canelo Alvarez's recent size increase, looking much bigger than in past years, has raised doubts about whether it's natural. These suspicions grow stronger given the doping history tied to Eddie Reynoso's gym, where several fighters have failed drug tests.
I'm juicing. If for a 30-year-old, right, you remember, your body grows, men's body can grow in height and length up until to the extreme in your 20s. By the time you're 20, your height and all that stuff is there, right? Your height and your length. In your mid-20s, you know, by the time you're 29, your musculature is pretty much there. It gets harder to gain and put on muscle after 30.
On a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan revisited Alvarez's past clenbuterol case and discussed the ongoing debates over his physique and performance. He stressed the importance of transparency and athletes protecting the sport's integrity. This conversation has fueled even more speculation as Alvarez heads into the Crawford fight. Many boxing fans say they aren't surprised by the latest doping claims, given Canelo's previous suspension for clenbuterol. To them, the new accusations fit a familiar pattern.
Boy MC from MCTV. I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo Alvarez is on steroids right now as we speak and is going to be fully juiced with something that hasn't even hit the market yet. Think about it, he's pretty much a billionaire. He has access.
Holyfield has openly praised Terence Crawford's incredible boxing skills, especially his power and versatility. He noted Crawford's rare ability to switch between orthodox and southpaw seamlessly, keeping opponents guessing and forcing them to constantly change tactics. Holyfield compared this adaptability to life's need for continuous adjustment and believes Crawford's style and reflexes make him a dangerous, well-prepared challenger. Accuracy, footwork, boxing IQ, and slickness, saying Crawford is much